Hey guys, and welcome to the channel and podcast. Lahore Qalandars win their first ever PSL title. Yes, they've done it. They've beat the Multan Sultans in the final. The seemingly immovable object of Multan Sultans. They've been so dominant throughout the whole tournament. But Lahore get it done in the final. They really step up, and the reigning champions, Multan, have to make way for the Qalandars. We're going to talk through the final and also what happened. I'm going to do a proper review even of the PSL in a separate video where we'll break down the whole tournament, pick our own team of the tournament. The actual team of the tournament has been released as well, and then talk about some rising stars, best performers, etc. So let me just get the scorecard up for you guys to have a look at and zoom in a bit more as well. So as you can see, Lahore winning by 42 runs, a very impressive win. They actually batted first as well, which was interesting. They won the toss and elected to bat first, which, given the circumstances around the PSL and how most teams have been chasing. So whenever they've had the chance, they've chased, right? Because of the ability to chase with dew involved. And obviously that helps your chase because the outfield's lightning quick. Also, under the lights, it's harder to field for the most part as the day goes on in Lahore as well at the stadium there. So yeah, interesting choice, but it paid off. I mean, you can see Abdullah Shafiq at the start struggled, 14 off 13, and Fakhar Zaman as well, going early. The reason why Lahore struggled, yes, a bit of poor application. Fakhar Zaman is still the top leading run scorer despite only getting 3 as well in this match. But as Asif Afridi, the left arm spinner for Multan Sultans, was just spinning webs, really. Very similar to Imad Wasim, I think, in the way that he bowls a style of bowling. So a lot of arm balls. However, he can occasionally, add a bit of flight to his deliveries and get a bit of grip and turn. Now, this pitch was a very interesting one. We were seeing swing early doors, but we were also seeing spin early doors. And when I say spin early doors, I mean it was turning off the pitch very early. It was gripping and turning. There was a lot of purchase for the spinners here. And that's why we saw Afridi get a lot of success, because if a pitch isn't turning, he would just go to his arm balls, because he knows that, okay, if I bowl slower one, it's not going to turn. The batsman's going to be able to attack me, use his feet, potentially come down the track. When it was turning like how it was yesterday, you cannot afford to make a single mistake when it comes to using your feet to ask for Afridi, because he might fly a delivery, but if you don't get to the pitch quick enough, we saw it grip and turn. It did exactly that to Abdullah Shafiq. He looked so silly, just dancing down the track, charging Asif Afridi, and in the end, just turning away from the outside edge of Abdullah Shafiq, easy stumping for Rizwan. David Willey as well was really impressive. I thought first up with the new ball, he was good, and also got Zishan Ashraf, who actually started playing Asif Afridi nicely, but David Willey got him. It was a loose shot. He went after a very wide delivery, and David Willey got this late swing, and it swung a lot, and it was a bottom edge by Zishan Ashraf, and he'll be disappointed with that. But obviously, for Lahore, they won't worry too much. The players that didn't manage to contribute too much, because they ended up winning the tournament, of course. But for him, he'll probably look back at that and just kind of think about it a little bit and just think, okay, need to maybe leave that one next time. For Kamran Ghulam, even though he only got 15 off 20, he did contribute quite nicely. Himself and Hafeez put on a 50-plus partnership, and they rebuilt nicely. So if we look at Lahore Qalandars and where they were at, they were in a really tough spot at 25 for 3, right, after Abdullah Shafiq went. So 25 for 3, and they weren't going at a particularly good rate. That's after 4.2 overs. Now, Kamran Ghulam and Hafeez put on a fantastic partnership of 50 plus, and even though he only contributed 15 runs and from 20 balls as well, to a strike rate of only 75, he tried to keep it ticking along. And I think the best thing he did was actually get Hafeez on strike as much as possible. And you can see that Hafeez, again, he started off relatively slowly, but then he picked up the pace nicely. 69 off 46 for him, 9 fours and 1 6, and he was the player of the match. He not only got 69, but he got wickets and bowled extremely well in the defence of the total, and we'll get to that in a bit. But he was really good, Mohammad Hafeez, and he was the perfect person to rebuild the innings. And a lot of question marks around him. I know some of my subscribers actually. I think mainly a few of you maybe don't like him for his personal views on cricket and kind of the way that he talks about other players, etc. And I get that. In terms of as cricket or Qalandars, he should be in the side. I think he proved in this final. Someone mentioned to me, when has he ever played a match-winning knock? And I think that was Mohammad Hussain, I think it was. And to be fair to him, I couldn't think of one. He was talking about when has Mohammad Hafeez played a match-winning knock for Lahore Qalandars, and I couldn't think of one. And I think he definitely hasn't been as good for Lahore as he was for Pakistan. So it was nice to see him step up, take responsibility, and get those runs. And then really, it was explosive from Harry Brook and David Visa. So if we look at their partnership for that last wicket, so 137 for 5, we were at after 17 overs. So they put on 43 in 2.5 overs. 43 in 2.5 overs. Harry Brook, look at that, 41 of 22. Unbelievable knock. 2 fours and 3 sixes, strike rate of 186. But David Visa doing it again, exactly the same as the eliminator versus Islamabad, 28 of 8, exactly the same. Runs and balls and strike rate, of course. He just tore apart. It was Mohammad Rizwan and Dahani as well towards the end. And it was very, very interesting to see. In terms of the bowling, you can see here Asif Afridi was a pick of the bowlers. 4 overs, 19 runs, 3 wickets, economy of 4.75. David Willey was a little bit expensive because he did have to bowl the 19th over. He's not really a death bowler. The first 3 overs he bowled, I think he'd only gone for about 7 and over. But that last over just killed him. Rumar Raiz was just really expensive throughout. They really did target him. And then Kushal Shah, not as miserly as he normally is and has been throughout the tournament, didn't pick up any wickets. Same with Imran Dar, didn't pick up any wickets, but really miserly at 5.5 economy rate, even. And then Dahani, you can see that 3 overs for 34 runs, economy of 11.3, picked up a big wicket though of Hafeez. Again, he bowled the last over, so it's not surprising he went for more than 10 and over, because that last over, David Visa dismantled him. I mean, he was bowling really well. I think his figures were incredible up until that point. 180 for 5, and at the halfway stage, I was thinking, okay, Lahore have a decent chance here, but they need to get early wickets. And for a period of time, it looked like Masood and Rizwan were going to do what they normally do, which is start off relatively slow and cautious, just make sure that they stay in. Rotate the strike nicely with 1s and 2s, and kind of go at like a 6-7 run rate at the start, and then slowly accelerate as they go along. And I thought, oh, this isn't good. And you can see there, look at that, 19 of 15, 14 of 12 for Rizwan. You can see the strike rates of around 120, right, average. I was thinking, okay, this is intriguing. Will these two be able to just make it look easy and completely, just cruise this? Will they cruise this for Multan? Because they have the ability to do that, this Multan side, with the batting they have. One moment in the game really changed it. And I said about Mohammad Hafeez being the player of the match, and that was for a few reasons. The first reason being just how he batted in the first innings to help Lahore recover. But the second was how he bowled. And he bowled phenomenally well to Mohammad Rizwan. And Rizwan, for some reason, he just went all the way across his stumps, tried to access the leg side, and Mohammad Hafeez just bowled him a beauty and cleaned him up. as Rizwan, sorry, even tried to just slog sweep him, really, just paddle it around the corner. And then after that, it was like, okay, Lahore in the game, and they needed that wicket because it was 36, I think, for no loss of wicket after 4 overs. And that was the last ball of that over, a big, big wicket. The captain gone, Rizwan, and you could just feel that was a big, big moment. And then soon after, Shah Masood, I don't know what he was doing. He kind of told Azmat to run a single. It was never a single. Fakhar Zaman with a fantastic direct hit as well. He's a really good fielder, Fakhar Zaman, and he took a couple of catches, if I'm not mistaken, and also got that run out. So even though he didn't contribute with the bat, it just shows that if you're a good enough fielder, you can make a difference in the field, and he did that because that was a big, big wicket. Shah Masood looked very comfortable at the crease, was playing Shaheen Afridi okay, and yeah, it was really, really good. You know, both these guys obviously managed to maneuver the first 2 overs from Shaheen and from Hafeez, and then first over from Hafeez and the second over, unfortunately, Rizwan going. But the run out from Fakhar Zaman was crucial because, as I said, Shah Masood didn't look like he was particularly troubled by anything. He looked in good nick. So that was a big wicket, both openers going. Azmat, then Russo at the crease. And then Hafeez got Azmat as well. He tried to go for a big shot. Fakhar Zaman took a catch, and you're just thinking, oh, hello. You know what? Lahore are definitely in control here. 46 for 3. Surely they're going to put the knife in, put the pressure on, and really squeeze Multan. And that's what they tried to do. Now, Azmat, I don't know what he was thinking because they lost 2 early wickets and he was pretty fresh to the crease still. It was a really silly decision to play that shot. Not sure why he went for it the way he did. Then Riley Russo at the crease, well, he was struggling. 15 off 22. It was an intriguing knock from him because normally, yes, he can come in at 4 like he did and kind of take his time and then accelerate. But the problem is that if you take your time and then you get out early, you look silly. And we've seen that with other players. Dawud Milan, for example, on the international stage, he does a similar thing. But the problem is, if you do get out early and you've got a strike rate of 68, it doesn't look particularly good. Now, they were rebuilding at that phase. They needed someone to just kind of hold firm. Riley Russo was trying to hit gaps. He just wasn't quite managing to succeed. And then there was one right in the slot for him. Zaman Khan bowled a half volley, really. Riley Russo just swung it away to Cal corner, tried to go over the boundary. It was a good catch, though, from Abdullah Shafiq. A similar catch that Dahani took in the first innings where they took the catch right by the boundary and then hopped on one leg basically to avoid going over it, which was really, really impressive, I thought. It was really good. I loved seeing it. Loved seeing the balance as well from the Pakistani players, but also the intelligence to think, how am I going to avoid going over the boundary? They could have just thought, oh, no, I can't do it, so I'm just going to kind of throw it back into play. No, they tried their best. And that's something that I think has definitely been improved is the innovation. The fielding generally has been. I think this PSL, it was slightly disappointing overall. But if we look at it from a more kind of longer term view, I think we can see it's definitely improving. One tournament doesn't change that. Then they made a really interesting decision to bring in Asif Afridi, which I thought was really weird, to be like a pinch hitter. And he didn't stay very long, 1 of 3. Zaman Khan cleaning him up was such a beauty as well, just going across the left-hander and clipping the outside of off stump. It was a beautiful delivery from the youngster. And yeah, Asif Afridi is normally a tail-ender, so that was a bit bizarre decision. I think the only reason why they might have done that is... I don't know actually why they did that, to be perfectly honest with you, because Russo was at the crease. It was a really weird decision. Really weird decision, to be perfectly honest with you. Um, yeah, I'm just not sure why they did that. I think they might have thought, okay, send him out there. Maybe he'd been looking good in the nets and he'd been whacking balls. And they thought, look, chuck him in there. He's got confidence. And let's see if he can get us a quick 20, for example. Didn't pay off though. Tim David had to come to the crease. He looked good whilst he was in for the most part. 27 off 17, like he might cause some trouble, especially with himself and Crystal Shah at the crease. That was the crucial partnership. When it was David and Russo, of course, you just thought, yeah, these guys, they're the most important ones in the middle phase, you thought. But when Russo got out, it was like, okay, well, Crystal Shah can do something here. We know he's been really good this whole tournament with bat and ball. 27 or 17 for Tim David, and he looked okay, as I said, but then the issue for him was he had to be pretty much ultra aggressive at that stage. I think he'd gone up to around 16 and over, 15 and over was the required run rate. Tim David, again, exactly, to be fair, actually, a carbon copy of Roddy Russo, except this one didn't have as many legs. Tried to go again over Cal Corner, just picking up one of Shaheen's fuller deliveries, and Fakhar Zaman taking a very good catch. Just, again, a lot of the catches we've seen in this Lahore leg have been just like they've just managed to kind of pluck it out of the fog and the lights, and it hasn't looked like easy catching at all, or easy catching conditions. And Crystal Shah, 32 of 23. He looked not particularly good, to be perfectly honest with you, for the first half. Horace Rolfe was just tormenting him with shorter deliveries, couldn't play him at all. Then had a bit of kind of luck, inside edges, and then a couple of runs where, a couple of boundaries which he hit nicely. And he thought, okay, the game's on, and he could potentially, do something here. And Horace Rolfe then just bowled him a beauty. And Crystal Shah, to be fair, I say it was a beauty, but Crystal tried to play a dill scoop and just looked really stupid doing it. To be perfectly honest with you, he just looked really silly. He got cleaned up. He was like, "What are you doing?" I don't think I've ever seen him play that shot either, so I don't understand the willingness to do it in such a important moment. But I think he was a little bit on the side of, look, I'm really struggling here. How am I going to be able to get, how am I going to be able to get this sorted now? Because we need to be going at 16 over. I don't know how to play Horace Rolfe at the moment. I'm struggling to play him. Let's try and be innovative, but it just didn't work. And then David Willey, first ball came in. Shaheen bowled him a beautiful Yorker, leg stump Yorker, no chance. Cleaned up. Ron Rai's got the same treatment as well. He was 6 off 7, but then again got a beautiful Yorker from Shaheen. And Tahir, to be fair to him, he had a good go of it. A couple of boundaries, but David Visa got him in the end. Horace Rolfe taking a nice little catch there. So they were bowled out for 138 in the end. Lahore winning by 42 runs. And if we have a look at the bowling figures, you can see Shaheen, 3 wickets for 30, economy of 7.5. That's actually, there was a 5 in there as well, where at the start of the innings, there was a throw, it hit Shamsu's bat and then deflected for 4, so they got 5 for that. So if you take off 5, you would have gone for only 25, which would have been just over 6 and over. But, it is what it is. It still counted towards his figures, which he wouldn't have been happy about. I think at that stage as well, Multan hadn't lost a wicket, so he was frustrated, but then he recovered nicely. Hafeez, 4 overs to 23, 2 wickets, economy of just under 6. Really impressive, and that's why you got player of the match. Look at those figures, and look at the 69 in the first innings with that strike rate of 150. I mean, he was the player of the match. Horace Rolfe, pretty good as well from him. 4 overs for 34, 1 wicket, 8.5 economy. Simon Patel really miserly, 2 overs in the middle for only 7 runs. He was really good. And Zaman Khan has been so good throughout the whole tournament. 4 overs for 26, 2 wickets, economy of 6.5. And then David Visa, a little bit of tap from Imran Tahir at the end, but at that point in the game was won. Picked up a wicket at the end to win the game for Lahore Qalandars, and obviously 28 off 8 as well. So he really contributed in a very positive way, not just in this match, but throughout the tournament. So yeah, Lahore Qalandars getting it done. They stopped Multan winning back-to-back PSL titles, which would have been a fantastic feat. You have to say that Multan overall, if you look at the whole tournament, they probably were the better side. But that's what makes these types of tournaments so exciting. It is a league, but really it's not, because it's really like more like a cup or a tournament, and that's why you get these types of results happening in finals. Anyone can win it. Doesn't matter on previous kind of form, previous matches. It's normally about who turns up on the day with the best game plan. Lahore were the ones that managed to get it done and got it done really comprehensively. They win their first PSL title at home as well with the crowd behind them. The crowd were amazing. And yeah, I'm really happy, as you can probably imagine, being a Lahore fan myself. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Please do remember to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on podcast platforms, do follow us, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next video. We will be covering Pakistan versus Australia, the test series. And we may also cover the India-Sri Lanka test series as well. So do keep an eye out for that. Hopefully as well, we'll have some interviews to release as well and sort out our work on some of those. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Stay safe and well. And I'll see you on the next video.